Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tori if you're new here, and today I'm going to show you what I've been picking up for the past 2 weeks or so for my prepper pantry. I do this every few months. I go to one plaza near me and it has 3 stores. I went to Natural Grocers, I went to the thrift store, and then I went to the liquor store, but of course I had to stop at Tractor Supply because I go there quite frequently for chicken feed and whatnot. I find the best organic feed if I'm not going to my local mills. I was there on an off day for chicken feed, but we found something else, so I'm going to get to that here in a second. I'm excited that you're here. If you are new, hi, hello, my name is Tori. I make videos all about being prepared on a budget, and I would love it if you hit the subscribe button. I know a lot of you have come here recently from Instagram. I started posting on my Mountain Mama account and I got some good feedback, so I'm excited. If you are coming from there, introduce yourself to our little community here in the comments. You will be welcome with open arms. I am very thankful that we have quite a positive community. I will say a lot of us have a similar sense of humor. We are sarcastic, very dry, and if you like that kind of thing, I'm sure you will fit in just fine, and if you don't, that's okay too. We welcome all walks of life as long as you're positive and you talk about preparedness in a calm way. That's what I'm all about here on the channel. I feel like everyone needs to be prepared. I feel like everyone is not prepared enough, and I am saying that to the most seasoned prepper. I'm saying that to myself. I'm saying that to the beginner. It is so important to just try and cover all your bases, but I cannot stress enough, do not get stressed out over this. I promise you, this should not be a scary subject. Food security should be something that you are thinking about, but it should not be something that should stress you out. If you do ever feel overwhelmed, let me know. We can talk about it. We can email back and forth, DM me on Instagram, chat about it here in the comments. Everyone is so encouraging and we would love to get to know you. Alrighty, let's start with Natural Grocers. And I picked up my trifecta, the 3 herbs that I normally pick up. And I am using most of these herbs for tinctures, but sometimes I use it to cook with. You never know. Let me find the other one that must have fallen here. Oh, great. Yes, perfect. Turmeric fell on the carpet. So luckily this is sealed, but this is a great one to have. It's fabulous for inflammation. I put it in a little shot of ginger and some sort of citrus in the morning and just shoot it as best as I can. A lot of people use cayenne in that shooter, but it's not for me. So turmeric root is a good one to have. Make sure it's organic. It's very inexpensive to get it organic, so I don't want to hear any excuses about that. Most of the herbs I buy and grow are organic unless they've been gifted or something like that. It's very important to me that my food isn't sprayed with Roundup, which is glyphosate, which causes a variety of issues that I'm trying to avoid. So that's why I buy organic, in short, but there are of course other reasons. Another one I got was thyme leaf. I grew some thyme in the garden, but it was so yummy we cooked a lot with it and we just did not grow enough to dry it. So thyme leaf is important to me. I keep it in my tea and it's helpful for women and their cycle, but it's just nice to have another anti-inflammatory and a distressor in my opinion. Also great for the immune system. So thyme's a good one to have on hand. And then oregano leaf. Oregano leaf is one of my favorites to pick up at Natural Grocers because it's so inexpensive and you get a lot of it. Frontier Co-op on my Amazon store also, Yes, Frontier Co-op on my Amazon store has a lot of herbs and spices and things like that, but sometimes they can get a little pricey. I have found that oregano stays pretty consistent in price, so I suggest picking these up, and you're going to combine this with some sort of 100 proof alcohol, and you can make a tincture out of this, or you could do oil of oregano. It's fabulous for any type of sickness that you may come across. We are in the thick of it. All of these things, all of these little buzzwords, sicknesses on the news outlets right now. Don't let it scare you. I know we should be informed of illness and disease in our area, but if you have a strong, healthy immune system and you are keeping a positive mental attitude, I promise that will aid you in whatever sickness may come at you. I am thankful to be a stay-at-home mom. I pulled my kids out of daycare. I quit my teaching job, and we are very fortunate that we don't encounter sickness much anymore, and that was because we completely changed our lifestyle. I want to talk about that a little bit more privately. We can talk in a message scenario, but I have gone over several times the changes that we have made in my life to reduce sickness in my household. And I am not a doctor, but I'm a success story. And I just think that it's very important to analyze what toxins you're putting into your body and what toxins you can prevent putting into your body. So again, if you want to talk about that, we can talk about it in a little private message. And then Natural Grocers does have other things, and they had this little cart. I'm not sure why it was there. I know Natural Grocers started in Colorado and they wanted to be an organic health food store. I like Natural Grocers because it's small. It's very expensive, I will say that, if you don't get the right sales, but it's small, family owned, and I just think it's a great grocery store. They have vowed not to carry a peel, and they're very selective about what they carry. So I don't really mind that they were carrying this, but it was in a little private stand, so I'm not sure if it's making its way out or not. I'm excited because this is just dried hot peppers, and what I do is take these and grind them up and I put it in my chicken feed so they produce more eggs in the winter time. So yes, this is a preparedness item for me because we have chickens. Chickens make eggs. We can save eggs for many different things. We can save money when eggs go skyrocket in price, and we also have ducks, and they produce a lot of eggs. Duck eggs have 9 grams of protein versus chicken eggs, which have 6 grams of protein. So it's nice to have that little backup, that sometimes guarantee of protein right in my backyard. Of course, if you're a chicken owner, you know that they stop laying from time to time. Sometimes they get old in age, sometimes they have disease. Of course, it's a risk with any animal you may take in, but I find that they are very amusing for the kids and they're just great to have. Protein security, we shall call them. Next up on my list, my thrift store items. I'm excited because I got one of these. So it's just a turning apparatus, we shall call it. I am not saying what it's called because I want you to tell me what you call this and settle a debate in the household. I think it will be fun to present it like this, but most people use it for canning. We cook up our tomatoes, cook up our apples, we put it in here, and it just skins, deseeds, and gets all the good stuff out of it so you can use the rest for canning. Of course, you can take the rest of that and put it in your canned item, but this was 75 cents. I still think it's a little pricey for the state of it, but it works, and it's not electric or anything, so we can use it in the event of canning in an emergency. If you didn't know, home canned food is where it's at. It's an in 2024. I see people do ins and outs all the time on Instagram, and I think it's really funny because a lot of what I do doesn't really align with the ins or the outs, and I found a recent homesteading account that I love, and she did a list of ins and outs, and that is where I was at. I didn't realize that homesteading was a very small interest, a very small percentage of my generation. So I'm excited to be part of the movement, like I said in the last video, but an in is home canning, and don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of water bath canning. Don't be afraid of pressure canning like I am sometimes. Water bath canning can do the same amount of things as pressure canning. I'm just gonna come out here and say it. I often refer to the pearl clutchers. Those are the people that are mad at me that follow most government regulated agencies telling us what we can and cannot can. That was a mouthful of a sentence, but I am from rural Pennsylvania. There are a lot of Amish around me. A lot of their cookbooks tell me what I can and cannot can, and guess what? There's not a lot that they say in there that you can't do. So I really enjoy those cookbooks. I trust them. I find that when someone tells me I can't do something, I do a deeper dive into why that is, and 9 times out of 10, it's because the government wants some sort of control over us once again. So home canning, try it out. Try tomato sauce. It's super easy. Or try canned apple pie filling or peaches, something simple, and just get into it. It's just fun. It honestly takes a lot of time if you're water bath canning, but you can get your head into it. The kids have a really fun time with it, and just pay attention to your times, pay attention to your acidity levels, and you will be just fine. Don't be afraid of home canning. It's not expensive. You can get a $3 stock pot at the thrift store, and you can reuse a lot of the glasses that you get from the grocery store. I find a lot of brands that use the company Atlas for their glass jars, and you can take their lids and reuse them too. I follow a girl on Instagram. Her name is Barefoot Mimosas. She's super awesome, and she really talks and does a deep dive into a lot of this. Of course, I am not a doctor, but I don't think I have to be to talk about home canning. But please know I'm coming from an experience standpoint. I do things and then I tell you about them. So if you are scared of it, make sure you do your own research. I have to say that on this platform, but I don't want you to be afraid of some of the articles out there, because if you do a deep dive into home canning, if you do a deep dive into botulism and the rates and where it's truly coming from, I think it will be an eye-opener for you. Oh, I forgot. Okay, I also got Redmond's Real Salt from Natural Grocers. If I run out from my actual order from Redmond's Real Salt, sometimes I will get it from here, and it's $2.75 there, and it's just great to have. I've been drinking adrenal cocktails every single morning to just support my adrenals and just add some more happiness in my life. I'm postpartum and I'm a stay-at-home mom to 3, so sometimes I can get sad and down, but I find that these simple lifestyle changes that I'm doing really help. So that is just some sea salt, some really good quality sea salt, some organic coconut water to add some potassium into that drink, as well as some organic orange juice. And you need that potassium in order for your body to absorb all of those minerals. I've gotten questions, does it taste salty? Yes, it does, but it's really not that bad. The orange juice is awesome, and you can also add other things to it. Another thing I've been doing is finding organic wild blueberries, which are cheaper at the grocery store, and I've been taking them, having them thaw out, and just eating them. They have so many medicinal benefits, and I suggest you try it out, because I just didn't want mushy blueberries, but when they are wild and when they are frozen, you pair them with something warm in the morning, I just find that they're really tasty. So that's another thing that I stocked up on, but they're up in the freezer, and you know what a blueberry looks like. Next up on my list for some more tinctures, I got some Everclear. Of course, I already dug into this. This is going to be 95% alcohol by volume, and for my tinctures, this is another one where you're going to have to do some research. I love herbal medicine, and I don't have a certificate, a degree, or anything. I just took a few courses and tried it out on myself to see how I felt, and I felt better. So that's why I'm telling you about it. I am going to make some oregano tinctures with that. I have done some yarrow tinctures. I've done several tinctures up there, but those are the most notable for me. I also have my OG rose tincture up there, and that is what I needed that for. I have a couple dried roses that I'm using as a tincture. Of course, fresh is best when you're making certain tinctures, but I don't want to use these roses for tea. They were grown for medicinal tinctures only, so that's why I'm using them in that sense. And then also my husband recently, if you follow me on the other channel, actually got a few bottles of alcohol. So I'm gonna take this guy for the Prepper Pantry. He said it was okay. And you can also make vanilla with this, homemade vanilla. You could make more tinctures with this, or you could keep it on the shelf for a rainy day. This is a great bartering tool. Of course, I would suggest getting the smaller bottles, but it's nice to have. There's a lot that you can do with liquor for the Prepper Pantry. I suggest, if it's in your budget and if it's on sale, go ahead and buy a few bottles. You never know what you can do with it in the event of an emergency. Next up, from Tractor Supply, you guessed it, a 5-gallon bucket and a tight sealing Gamma lid. I have an Azure order coming in, and I got some flowers, so I just grabbed one bucket because I don't really need any more. I bought about 10 of them when I first started doing all of this, and I've just been cleaning them out and reusing them. You can also go to Firehouse Subs and get them for $3. I've heard you can go to Walmart, which I've done once, and I got turned down to their bakery department and get that. I've heard of people finding Facebook Marketplace buckets, but Tractor Supply has clean buckets and they're under $10. So went ahead and got that with the lid and called it a day. So I have flour coming, like I said, from my Azure order. And if you want me to do an Azure haul, let me know in the comments below. I've never done one on the channel before, and I get pretty much what everybody else gets. But there's a few fun items that my family loves, so we can do that too. Azure Standard is an online grocery store. If you didn't know, they have pickup points in your area, and it's a fun little community effort. You get to see people that you may not see every month, and you get to unload the truck, organize it, do all that. It's a fun little community thing. I love the company. I love what they stand for. Unfortunately, they have been victim to a lot of warehouse fires, whether you think that is intentional or not. I've done a deep dive on that in the past, but Azure is just a good company. Like I said, they have some good morals, and I just agree with a lot of what they're putting out there, and I really hope more people shop there. They definitely have pickup points in your area, but if they don't, you can fill out an inquiry form and find one near you. I think they also have shipping to your house. I've done that once, but I remember it being super expensive, and I remember that being really tricky with some things that I was ordering. So yeah, you have to look into that as well. Next up on the list, I went to the thrift store and I grabbed some more blankets, and I grabbed them for warmth, obviously, in the winter time, but we've been running out of power and it's been getting chilly in the house. Believe it or not, I was confused the other day. We woke up, it was freezing and it was a little scary because it was just me here with the kids and I couldn't figure it out. Everybody's power was on except for ours, so immediately I panicked, but it turned out our little thermostat ran out of batteries, so that shut off the heat entirely. I didn't even know that that could happen. I replenished the batteries and we were good to go, but it took a little bit for the heat to just come back on. And of course I have blankets in the home, but I feel like we don't have enough, and that reminded me that we don't have enough in the car in the event of an emergency. We might break down and it might be just me, so I just grabbed some extra ones. These were $1 at the Goodwill, so I washed them and they will go right out into the car. I did want to leave some links to some Amazon deals that I have been finding. So just a disclosure, if it's not the same price as what I list it as in the comment section, I apologize. It was just the Amazon deal of the day. And if you want me to do more things like that, I can. There's a little disclaimer that I get like 3% of the Amazon sale or something like that. I'm an Amazon affiliate, and I know a lot of you don't support Amazon, but I know a lot of you like the convenience like myself. And unfortunately, sometimes convenience is key in the season I am now. I can plan ahead as much as I possibly can, but sometimes I forget things just like you. So if you do support Amazon, let me know. I will leave some links that I found. I found a solar flashlight, a really awesome radio, crank radio that I feel like everybody should have. I found some good deals on the 3-day candles, and I found some good deals on the solar blankets. So again, I'm gonna link them down in the description box. If you wanna shop the link, cool. If you can find a better price somewhere else, drop that in the comments, and that would definitely help somebody that doesn't support Amazon. Alrighty, my friends, that is gonna do it for today's video. I hope this intrigued you. I hope this motivated you to get stocking up in your prepper pantry. Please remember that a preparedness pantry looks so much different to every single person out there. It should not be just food. Of course, I have been stocking up on water every single trip that I can. I got a comment the other day saying I don't have enough water. There's something that I talk about in a lot of my prepper pantry tours. Never show your whole preparedness setup. You never know who's watching. You never know who's listening. And I feel it's really important to have other places where you store food and water that are just private between yourself or your family or someone that is involved in your life that needs to get to those resources. So keep that in mind. But yes, water. I went up to the spring and grabbed some. I grabbed a case of water, and then I got some water stored in metal at natural grocers, but again, those are like $1.75, so I stock up on like 2 every time we go, which isn't often. I also got some aqua tabs, and those are purifiers. I will put that in the description box. Again, those are on Amazon. And one last thing, I haven't said it in a while, if you are experiencing any food insecurity, please dial your local 211. Just know that they can help you with a lot of hard times you may be experiencing. So if you are facing any insecurities in your life, please dial your local 211, and I'm sure they can help you. If you're not comfortable doing that, please email me at mountainmommaliving@gmail.com, and I can point you in the right direction. I will try my best. I cannot help you financially, but I can help you with finding food to help yourself and your family. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the next one. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative. Bye, y'all.